Kirchhoff or Kirchhoff?
Kirchhoff.
Okay. For Mr. Kirchhoff's introduction, I'm going to send it over to Congressman Schuster.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and Tom, again, welcome today. Tom Kirchhoff is the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Cleveland Brothers Equipment in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Cleveland Brothers sells, rents, and services Caterpillar construction equipment throughout the state of Pennsylvania, and as I mentioned earlier, most importantly throughout the 9th Congressional District in Pennsylvania. Mr. Kirchhoff is here to testify on behalf of the Associated Equipment Distributors, AED. Members provide construction equipment and supplies and services in the U.S. and in Canada. So again, Tom, welcome.
Good morning, Chairman Altmeyer, Ranking Member Fallon, and Congressman Schuster. It is my pleasure to come before you today, both in my capacity as a small business owner and as a spokesman for my industry, to discuss the ways in which highway investment affects small companies. Cleveland Brothers is the authorized Caterpillar construction equipment distributor for 59 Pennsylvania counties in an area that stretches from the northeast corner of the state throughout all of central and western Pennsylvania, including Pennsylvania's 4th Congressional District and the 9th. Our territory also includes 17 counties in northern West Virginia and 2 in western Maryland. Our family-owned company has 27 locations and 1,050 employees. I'm also testifying on behalf of the Associated Equipment Distributors, the National Trade Association representing authorized independent distributors of construction, mining, forestry, and agricultural equipment. AED has more than 1,000 members, the overwhelming majority of which are small businesses. Approximately 48% of the association's distributor members report annual revenues of $10 million or less. I'd like to use my time this morning to highlight 3 key points. First, America's surface transportation infrastructure policy is in a state of crisis. Numerous studies have concluded that our nation's crumbling highways threaten our economic vitality and public safety, and the transportation investment should be increased at all levels of government. The Texas Transportation Institute reported just last week that traffic congestion resulting in large part from inadequate road capacity cost the country $87.2 billion per year in wasted time and fuel. A study released earlier this month by the Transportation Construction Coalition found that more than half of all highway fatalities are related to deficient road conditions, and that poor roads are the single most lethal contributing factor to motor vehicle crashes. And the Surface Transportation Revenue and Study Commission, which was established by Congress to examine the infrastructure crisis, said last year that the United States should be investing at least $225 billion annually from all sources to upgrade our existing surface transportation system. We are spending less than 40% of that amount today. The current highway reauthorization presents an ideal opportunity to tackle this crisis. However, at the same time that Americans are waking up to problems with our highways, the Highway Trust Fund, the primary vehicle for surface transportation investment, is on the verge of bankruptcy. Congress must therefore take immediate action both to shore up the HTF and enact a long-term plan to address the nation's infrastructure investment shortfall. My second point is that highway investment has a significant market impact on the small business-dominated equipment distribution industry, which is why my colleagues and I are so attuned to the problems facing the highway program. A study conducted by George Mason University economist Stephen Fuller last year determined that, on average, 6.4 cents of each dollar spent on highway construction is spent to buy and lease new equipment and our major repair and maintenance outlays. Dr. Fuller also found that every dollar of direct spending for the purchase of heavy construction equipment generates a total of $3.19 in economic impact. This represents $1 of direct spending and $2.19 in indirect and induced economic activity, as the money spent at equipment dealerships like Cleveland Brothers is respent by AED members and their employees in other sectors of the economy. Dr. Fuller's research confirms that highway spending at all levels of government has a major impact on equipment distributors. It also shows that, in addition to the long-term societal benefits of infrastructure investment, the related spending on construction equipment and services has a significant economic impact in communities throughout the nation where AED members do business and their employees live and work. My third point is that the uncertainties surrounding the near-term health of the Highway Trust Fund and the status of reauthorization are adding to the historic instability in construction markets and negatively affecting equipment distributors and their contractor customers. AED members around the country report market conditions similar to those that I face in Pennsylvania. Contractors lack confidence in the long-term demand for their services and are therefore refraining from purchasing new equipment. As a result, equipment distributors, like Cleveland Brothers, have seen sharp declines in sales. Equipment inventory is piling up and putting a strain on distributors who must finance the machines in their yards at a time when credit has tightened dramatically. The problems are compounded by the fact that state governments have been forced to slash their transportation budgets, and uncertainty about the future of the federal program is making it more difficult for state transportation departments to plan. AED members are, like other small construction industry companies, directly affected by the uncertainties facing the federal highway program. However, AED members are also affected, along with other businesses and the public at large, by inadequate infrastructure investment at all levels of government. In urban areas, our members and their employees confront traffic congestion, which drives up costs of doing business and wastes precious time and fuel. In rural areas, inadequate investment means unsafe roads and diminished access to jobs, customers, and public services. Mr. Chairman, I see that my time is about to expire, and I wonder if I might have 1 minute to conclude my remarks. In conclusion, the United States is confronting an unparalleled infrastructure crisis, which threatens our ability to compete globally in the 21st century, and which threatens the safety of our citizens. At the same time, the uncertainty surrounding federal infrastructure programs is contributing to historic volatility in equipment markets and compounding the challenges facing the construction industry at large. Congress can address these two issues simultaneously by quickly resolving the near-term solvency of the Highway Trust Fund and by enacting a long-term highway reauthorization bill that dramatically increases highway capacity and creates new revenue streams to support infrastructure investment. We look forward to working with the members of this subcommittee and with all of your House and Senate colleagues in a bipartisan manner to achieve these goals. Thank you again for the opportunity to participate in this hearing. I look forward to answering any questions you may have.